Hello and welcome back to Wolf vs. Ponies. We're back with another Behind the Pony segment. This time we're looking at Fluttershy.
I don't think I want to talk bad about Fluttershy. It's a sin to make fun of Fluttershy. The bronies will kill us and take down the Wolf channel.
Don't worry, it's not like we're going to any conventions anytime soon.
Alright, I'm going to talk badly about Fluttershy, so please, no comments. Unless they're hate comments, put them down below. But I do like Fluttershy, but I'm only going to point out the flaws that the writers made in her, not her character fully.
Whereas I'm going to look at her character fully.
So, let's start with the one episode that focused a lot about Fluttershy putting your hoof down. This was the biggest one that made an impression on fans, and you either like it because it made Fluttershy funnier and gave her some character development, or you hate it because it ruined one of the most loved characters of the main six.
And personally, I actually liked the episode for many reasons, but one of them is because, Fluttershy became a much better character with it because she got more assertive with it.
I liked the episode too, but a lot of fans hate it because it said that Fluttershy became mean and assertive, and she actually made Rarity and Pinkie Pie cry. Yes, and it's actually implied that she might even hate her friends deep down inside her. Although you can't really blame her, I'd probably not like Pinkie Pie too if you've seen what she's done to Cranky.
But yeah, with that episode, she has become a much stronger character. It's like she's actually somewhat more extroverted than before, because if you recall the first episode, she wouldn't even speak to Twilight.
But she's not the same character anymore. Now she's got a mean side to her, and nobody wanted that. We want her to be the same shy, nice girl. We don't want her to be mean and cruel and have a dark side to her.
Yes, but she isn't always going to be like that. It's showing that her character is actually growing for the better.
Oh, you mean like how Pinkie Pie's grown up so much since she first appeared?
Well, she's become more intelligent at certain times.
But this is Fluttershy we're talking about. Fluttershy, who's the element of kindness. And so seeing her act mean and nasty and assaulting ponies is not exactly going to win her any fans.
Yes, but sometimes you might have to be cruel to be nice to some pony.
Oh, you mean like the Breezies? You mean the lesson that was so confusing that a lot of fans couldn't make sense of it?
Yes.
Yes, apparently the lesson in that is sometimes you can be nice if you can be mean to others and force them to do what you want. It's a bit confusing, but Fluttershy means well, of course. She wants the Breezies to go back to their own country, but there was a lot of alternatives she could have done other than forcing them and being mean. What do you say, Wolf? Was it a good lesson to teach kids that sometimes you have to be harsh to people to make them do the right thing?
It was a good lesson portrayed badly.
Yeah, but she got her key in the end, which is a flower she got from Seabreeze. But this episode really didn't help Fluttershy grow that much because this was pretty much the same lesson in the assertive one, where sometimes you have to be mean to stand up for yourself, but otherwise you're still a good person. Not to mention the weird sex joke they made of Fluttershy shaking her butt for bees.
I'm working on a bee-type dance and was hoping you could help me. Does this bring to mind any images for you? Perhaps a bee?
That's a bit bizarre, but yeah, Fluttershy can sometimes have a dark side to her as well. Oh, and let's not forget the Gala one, which actually was pretty funny, and see what happened when Fluttershy doesn't make any animal friends. Remember that? She chased them and actually is seen killing a squirrel.
Not really killing it, just holding it by her mouth.
Yeah, she chewed into it, then dropped it and left it to be stomped on by the horses. Yeah, good job taking care of those animals, Fluttershy.
Speaking of animals, that's pretty much one of her other key characteristics. We've seen her taking care of animals time and time again. Heck, in the first episode, she tamed a manticore.
But except dragons. Dragons are a no-no for Fluttershy. You know, even though she's talked with Spike and shown interest in dragons, she apparently fears them now.
Well, A, Spike is a baby dragon, and B, she was able to stand up to that one dragon in Dragonshy.
Oh, you mean the dragon that took her forever to sum up her courage and fight him? Then it turns out she didn't grow as a character at all because she's still afraid of a leaf and her own shadow?
Yeah.
Yes, Fluttershy stands up to the dragon, but this didn't really do anything for her character, and she doesn't become assertive until much later. So what was the entire point of this episode? Not to mention that she was dragging her friends down when they were trying to make it up the mountaintop to go fight the dragon.
Yeah, she was doing everything in her power to not face this dragon.
But a lot of people hate Fluttershy also because her character's like a bit too innocent and too cute and adorable. That kind of makes the show look like it's still for girls, and she likes singing songs, but apparently not for other ponies.
I'm guessing she's one of the characters that's making it for TVY ratings.
Yeah, but Rainbow Dash and Applejack and even Twilight actually make it more bent towards adults because of their in-depth character and weird jokes that are obviously targeted at adults, while Fluttershy seems a bit too innocent, even by children's standards.
Yeah, well, Pinky's also a part of keeping the rating TVY.
What are you talking about? Andrew WK loves Pinkie Pie, and so does Weird Al Yankovic, and they're both grown men.
What's your point? They're not on the show, except for that one time when Al was.
Yes, Weird Al Yankovic was on the show, but as for Fluttershy, I think also another problem with her is she seems too much like a real person rather than a three-dimensional character, because a lot of human beings are shy, afraid, not very assertive, and some can't stand up for themselves, and a lot like Fluttershy, they're also super kind but can be doormats by people who are abusive towards others.
So what you're saying is that she's a more relatable character.
Well, in a way, yes, but in a way, no, because she's so obsessed with animals that even when Rainbow Dash considers getting a pet, she forces a tortoise on her, and it's the whole reason why we got Tank.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do obsess over their pets. I mean, putting chihuahuas in purses, getting them sweaters, they shouldn't be here. They should be where they belong.
You've done a great job taking care of those pets, Wolf. You know, your wolf pack that are supposedly following you. Where'd you leave them again? Alright, somewhere in the forest where they got attacked by your rivals, the Timberwolves.
You don't need to give me painful memories.
But back to Fluttershy, speaking of painful memories, it showed that she was bullied in her childhood a lot and couldn't stand up for herself, which is arguably a relatable thing. But then we see Rainbow Dash was supposedly her friend, and we don't have no idea where this is coming from. How long was she and Rainbow Dash friends? Did she consider Rainbow Dash her friend? Because we see that Dash almost accidentally killed her. So who's to say that Fluttershy doesn't bear a grudge against that for dumping her on the planet Earth forever?
That is true. Another question is, are the main six really Fluttershy's friends?
Because she doesn't seem to admit it in first season. Yeah, first season, Fluttershy doesn't really trust her friends that well and is actually afraid of interacting with them a lot, questioning whether she actually learned friendship herself. Then, as you see in putting your hoof down, she yells at Rarity and Pinkie Pie and calls them stupid, very likely letting out her real emotions and feelings towards them. So who's to say she doesn't hate the other ponies in the main six?
True. I mean, heck, she even cast a doubt on Twilight's abilities in Magic Duel. I mean, you're talking about Twilight, the most gifted unicorn in Ponyville, and yet you still doubt her.
Yeah, Trixie's episode showed that Twilight's master at magic and actually did better than Trixie, although let's face it, anyone could have done better than Trixie. But yeah, Twilight expressed the magic skills, yet Fluttershy doesn't even trust her own friend when she saw her lift a Ursa Minor in the air and even put it back in bed with its mother.
You know, the more and more we talk about Fluttershy, the more I realize something. You talk about her as if she's a real person. Well, the way I see it, it seems like she is actually more of a two-dimensional character, if anything.
Two-dimensional? What do you mean there, Wolf?
Well, I mean, obviously physically, of course. But, I mean, otherwise, when you look at her, the same characteristics are always brought up in episodes. I mean, heck, she tamed Manticore in the first episode. Then later in Season 2, she tamed Cerberus.
Yeah, but that's a three-headed puppy, not the actual demonic Cerberus, a devourer of worlds and guardians of Tartarus.
But the point about that is that she can tame almost every animal. We got that. Heck, even the cockatrice, she was able to stand up to it with her stare. She then later used the stare at Angel, and then again tried using it on Discord.
Yes, let that be a lesson to you children. Whenever there's a giant rampaging animal tearing apart the world and killing your friends, just give it an angry look and everything will be okay.
And speaking of Discord, she was the one to befriend him. Once again, even though Discord does have his own kind of mind, he is technically a mishmash of animals.
He was playing her for a fool. He said so himself. He was bragging about and beating her pet angel and destroying her house and attacking her friends, and she was silly and gullible enough to fall for it. And he didn't change. He was still evil. He joins Satan himself, really named Turek, but abandons Fluttershy after dumping their cucumber sandwiches in front of her and locks her in a cage.
True, but she was the one to befriend Discord, because at the end of the episode where Discord came back, he actually reformed for a while. Then season 4 came around, and that didn't really keep up.
Then he really reformed thanks to Twilight, not Fluttershy. Twilight was the one who changed Discord, not Fluttershy, who had an entire episode to reform him, and it didn't take that big an effect. What do you say to that, Wolf? Twilight actually did better than Fluttershy did.
How?
She was the one who reformed him in the end by sparing him and helping him even though he betrayed them. Fluttershy all she did was give in to his evil demands and try and make him comfortable and ignore her own friends' pleas to stop him when he clearly wasn't reformed at all and screwing with her.
What if it was all part of Discord's master plan? Because remember, he did give them the book that will later allow them to discover the rainbow power.
He gave it to Twilight. Twilight, not Fluttershy. Oh, and let's not forget, later with Discord, Fluttershy is clearly insensitive toward him, not realizing that he's jealous that she's going out with a new girlfriend to the gala. Yeah, that dance that was so boring and caused her to attack animals and nearly destroy the castle. She goes back to that, this time with a stoned hippie and over her supposed friend Discord, who she's constantly shipped with.
True, but like I said, the show keeps pushing her as a two-dimensional character, so there's no room for her to actually change later on.
But that's the bad news. She's two-dimensional. She's not three-dimensional like her friends are. Her friends who exhibit more character traits and change and development. With Fluttershy, her main story arc is that she's trying to be stronger and assertive and braver, and we see that's not getting her anywhere very much at all. In fact, it's actually a plot point when they're captured by Starlight Glimmer and the Equalist that they used her cowardice and doormat nature to escape, and she has to be the outside girl pony against the Equalist because she's such a coward and no one would suspect her.
I only hope that in later episodes they will actually give her more character development.
We could only hope. Fluttershy needs more character. That would be a reason why she would be more liked by fans if they gave her more character traits. Like, for instance, they're going to give Fluttershy a brother, so maybe we'll find out more about her family. Maybe she comes from a family of jerks or animal killers or something unlike her. We're going to get more character traits on Fluttershy, but the problem is it's been 5 seasons and nothing much has changed for her at all.
True, but whether you view Fluttershy as a complete ass, or if you see her as...
She's not an ass, she's a pony, or a Pegasus to be specific. An ass would be Cranky, or that mule who appears on random places.
Going back to the video, if you view her as a complete jerk to her friends at times with her over-assertiveness, or if you view her as the cowardice Pegasus pony that everybody loves, including Japan.
Or the element of kindness and true friend to all living things and animals and even plants.
That's your opinion, but here we have to push our opinions. So, I've been Wolf.
And I've been CatTazTrophy.
And we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.